Hey, let's draw Fin Fang Foom. Fin Fang Foom. If you don't know who Fin Fang Foom is, there is a serious gap in your comic book education. Many years ago, Marvel put out this paperback, Monster Masterworks, and it's sort of a best-of Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers and Steve Ditko monster comics. And you can see how abused my copy is. The spine is completely broken. I have tape on the spine. There are loose pages galore in here from holding the book open and copying these monsters out of it, because these are some of the great monsters ever. And if you ever want to know how to do some dramatic display lettering like this, you can't beat these monster stories, because every single one has a different kind practically of dramatic lettering. Just look at the lettering on these. So you can find some great ideas for your lettering in this book, some great reading. This book has since been replaced in my collection by hardcover books that are more complete, that have more stories. But I'm just going to use this old beat-up copy, because today I want to copy I want to say Fin Fang Foom. Why do I want to say Fing? It's Fin Fang Foom. Fin Fang Foom. I want to draw him. I think we can have some fun with him, and at the same time learn a few things about how to do this stuff. So let's do that. Let's get rid of this and get it all off there. And I know it's cheating, but I do not know Fin, did I say Fing again? I do not know Fin Fang Foom from memory. So I'm going to look at the picture while I draw. Completely in a facile way, in a superficial way. So if we want this picture, we're not going to probably get the whole thing in, but you can see that Fin Fang Foom is a dragon man. He's a Chinese dragon man. He's sort of a dragon head, but he has basically a human body, because it makes it easier to draw, right? And these comics were cranked out super fast, but they're still super good. So with a face like this, let's just basically start, just very lightly show where the face is going to be. It's going to be right in here. It's going to be long, okay? So then we'll just come up and we're going to do the eyes. Arr, disgusting humans. And then we're going to do something over the eyes. He's got a big brow and a big shadow area here. Okay, and then we're going to come up from it. Going to come up on both sides. Now remember, if I'm coming up this way on one side and this way on the other side, then the dead middle is going to be straight, right? So we're going to curve these as we go. The straightest one is going to be the one that's most in the middle. We're going to curve them out to both sides. And then sort of show where that brow ridge is. We're going to put a few more lines up here. And we get a big nose, a big old nose down here. So we get the bottom, it comes off to the sides here. It's very broad. Comes all the way out. Very broad fashion. Now these sketch lines at this point are showing that the head was going to be too small for this face, so let's just get rid of them and make the face whatever size it wants to be. Now, it's a monster, so we got to put lots of little markup on it. The head is going to have some of this. Okay, now for the mouth. We're not going to worry about a human-shaped mouth. The fun thing about doing monsters is you don't worry about making their mouths the human shape. This one doesn't have any teeth in it. You see there's no teeth in it? I'm going to go ahead and put some teeth in there. Monster teeth. I think Fin Fang Foom has teeth. I just don't see them in this particular shot. So let's make a mouth. Some teeth on the bottom there too. And if the mouth is pulling, we need to have some directional lines in there to show. And we got a lip, a little bit of a lip. We got some lip down here. We can curl it around a little bit to show direction and shape, texture and stuff. Now the chin, kind of right there. Well, I can see right now that my nose, even though it's wide, is not wide enough. So let's take this out. Let's completely take it out. Try it again. Probably cut them all too close, but I'm going to ignore that. Got one nostril over here, one over there. And then we got a chin. We got to put a shadow under here. I got to put some lines under here. Kirby loved to add lines like that. Now let's get the head shape before we add any more lines. Under the eyes, got some circling to do. Make that bigger. Okay, there's a little bit of a cheekbone in there. Come down. Come down. Basically, we're just connecting together what we've done here. A little bit of cheekbone on this side. Going to come down. He's kind of, in a way, almost horse-like. Almost. I said don't hold me to that. And what we're missing here is these wonderful frill fin things. These things, we're just going to stroke some lines out. You know, the basic shape, and then put in the shape after we get the lines stroked to where we want them to be. Alright, and we need one on the other side. Alright, and not big enough. Alright, so we're going to make this. Dark spot bigger in the middle, side. And now that we got that in place, we need to finish off the head. The head with a big cheekbone bump there. It's got some more bumps here. And we're going to feather these. When we do this, if you're going to draw a Kirby monster, you have to feather everything. Alright, now we need the two horn things on top. Now, under here, we're going to do some lines to show direction and also to show shape. Put some shadow in there. And the same thing over here. Except I see Kirby's got the back side of that because he's got a light source in there. So Kirby's got the back side of that shadow. That's fine. Why don't I shadow it all the way down there? And then he needs the big ears. This is what makes him Fin Fang Foom more than anything else, is these big, finny, almost aquatic, ocean-like ears. His face just keeps getting bigger and bigger, just like the monster himself. Okay, so let's just fly this in here, and we will lay a line down. You know, when you're drawing something, just lay a line down. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. If it's wrong, do it again. But so I think when Kirby's doing this, I don't think he's really creating the shape before he does these lines. It doesn't look like it to me. So I'm going to do them the same way. And it's going to come all the way down to there. So we'll split that out. Right now, and then what he does is he connects them. Okay, now if we want to get a little fancy schmancy, we can put a little shade in there. Well, the thing with dry erase markers is sometimes they pick up when you want them to be laying down stuff. So if our other ear is up here, and let's just say the bottom is way down here, so I'm going to split the difference so I can wind up where I want to be. Alright, so this here is here, there. Once we get the lines, then we can decide where they go. Stupid on it. Let's decide first. No. So we take the extra off. And got a beginning for a face here. You can double up on some of these to create a shadow effect. I didn't really like that awkward one, that's why I made it black. I'm just not liking it. I'm picking up more than I'm laying down. Okay. Alright, so we got a nice beginning here. But there's not nearly enough lines on this for Kirby, because Kirby's going to put some scaling on. Let's put some scaling on. This is a Kirby monster. We got to put more stuff on it. And this under the eye needs a little more. Let's see. And put some more scaling on there. The head needs more lines, more Kirby lines. And maybe put a little scaling on there, but not necessarily everywhere. The trick to doing scales and things like that is you don't want to draw them all in. If you draw them all in, phew, it's a hot day today and I'm sweating. If you draw them all in, it's going to look wrong. It's like, you know, if you draw a perfect brick wall and draw every brick in, no artist does that. It looks wrong in most cases, is the only way to say it. So he's actually got a long dragon neck. So that's this dragon neck coming down here. And there's some nobule things on it. Probably put the black on the back side, remember? And they have to, if something is coming out of this neck, then we want to draw the bottom of it where it connects. Okay, so since we're shading the backside, let's do that. And this one you can't see the bottom because this one is beyond the horizon of that line. It's on the other side of it, so that's why we don't see the bottom anymore. If you can see the bottom, then you have to draw the bottom. Now, once we have the neck, what Kirby would do here. We're going to divide it, and it's convenient that I had this line in the wrong spot because we're going to make some muscles here and divide the neck. Okay, so let's just say that there's a big old muscle group that goes like this, and that there's another muscle that sort of comes in like that. So we're going to throw some heavy black in here with our Dick Ayers brush. I had one, I just have a dry erase marker. Some heavy black in there. And show which way that neck is bending. There's a big old muscle group there. Now this is need some muscle or something. You know, this head is going to have to be, where's the end of that ear? We've got to define the difference between the ear and the neck. So if this is ear, if this is the ear here, then we don't want to touch the ear line with the neck. In fact, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to separate this ear from the neck. Separate it just like that. I'm going to get it very close so people know it's not actually chopped off. But there will be a line of separation in there so you can see that that is separate from the neck. I don't know why that line is there, I forgot. Is that a muscle group? Okay. So if the muscles are coming back, you can see we're getting up to the head now, and we have to connect it. But it's simple because it's a monster. And monsters don't have any right or wrong way to connect them. You know what? Someone once said that Godzilla looked unrealistic. To that I would say, how the hell would they know? Okay? If it's a monster and you're designing it, then the neck muscles go wherever you want them to go, right? And if people say, oh, that doesn't look like where the neck muscles should go, you say, yeah, well that's too bad because I was just copying it, that's the way the monster looks. They haven't seen the monster, so what do they know? We can make that completely black. Back here. Okay, now I'm kind of a little high here, a little big here. Can't really show body, so let's just show some body. Fin Fang Foom, you can give him a fist. That's what we'll do. We'll create a knuckle. He's a three-fingered character, like a lot of monsters are three-fingered characters. Monsters, Simpsons, Fred Flintstone, they're all three-fingered characters. So, the knuckles are kind of going away. So we can show the direction here. We're going to show both sides of this knuckle because we have to show the outside because that's the outer edge. But we're showing the inside too because that's the direction they're going in, right? So he's got a big old thumb here, he's got a claw in it, and that's coming this way, right? Now, because this is a monster, we can add as many lines as we want. You don't have to worry. Usually with a human hand, you don't want to add too many lines because it'll be overworked and you won't look natural. With the monster, we can add as many lines as we want. So his hand comes down like this. Let's see. And Fin Fang Foom actually has kind of skinny arms for a monster, you know. So I'm just gonna go with that. Now remember the thing of, I haven't talked about this, but when you're putting something in perspective, the width never changes. Okay, so if this is a tube seen from the side, and this is the same tube seen from the front, this part is the same measurement, isn't it? Okay, the width of something never changes, only the length of it. So if we put that tube in perspective, we still have, you know, the more short it gets, the more, you know, you can shorten it up as much as you want along that line, but the actual width of the thing never changes. I'll have to explain that in a separate video because this is really not the time. I'm really not explaining it right. But Fing's arm is going to be somewhat foreshortened here. And let's see, we need a shoulder if we're going to have an arm. And then let's assume that there's some sort of a collarbone muscle in there, and we're going to put a muscle here. I maybe didn't need that much. Okay. Now, it's very important which line goes on top. Okay? So if the fist is coming at you, and this forearm line comes back and it goes over over the other line. On top, this line does not cross over the top. That will make it go in the wrong direction. And when the bicep, this long bicep comes back here, it goes over, and the other muscle here goes behind. And of course, if you're doing a monster, every black has to be feathered in like that. So he's got a long chest. And let's just see, the torso is down here. Does he have anything under his arm? Basically bumps under his arm. So let's go with the bicep muscle, then the bottom part of the arm. And this is here. We'll put some heavy black on it here. Heavy black and feather, 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 right? And then he has sort of a thing underneath his arm there. Fin Fang Foom, I keep saying Fin, don't I? I'm dumb. It's Fin Fang Foom. He has kind of an ungainly sort of body when you look at it, kind of stretched out. His torso area is not as big as a typical Kirby monster, as a proportion that's somewhere like head, with a big, wide torso, usually relatively squatty legs, big muscular arms. That's more like a regular Kirby monster. But Fin Fang Foom is the exception to the rule, in that he has an elongated torso, a long thing here, a big head, and he has kind of long, almost skinny for a monster, arms and legs. So he has kind of a, and plus, in addition to these legs, he has a long tail. Very unusual shape for a Kirby monster, very different, and maybe that's why he's one of the most popular Kirby monsters. Okay, but let's do some more of what makes it look like a monster. Right now this is too empty. Okay, so we have to do more lines coming in here, put more black on. We're going to do, look at the way Kirby's got it. That was going to be something other than shadow, but it's not now. Yeah, so we're going to subdivide this into different parts of scaling. Put some shadows under here, and that really don't have room to continue it. But okay, so if we have some sort of tendon back here, and let's bring the shadows. See how we're making lots of directional lines here, and we're going to put in black shadows wherever we can, just to make the whole thing more monstery. This is all like a shadow type area here. And then we're going to do some more scaling. We're going to do lines, we're going to do scaling. This is what makes monsters fun, because you can improvise a lot of cool stuff on them. And let's see the torso. I'll give him more abs than Kirby did. Give him some abs of steel here. Why not? He's been working out, right? And remember that the torso line generally is going. You have to look behind where the muscle is. It's not going to come. Oh, it's going to come from behind to a certain extent. So if you put part of it behind. I don't know if you understand what I mean by behind. If you have a torso and the arm is connected here, that front line is actually got to come from behind the arm. That's what I'm talking about. So be careful when you're drawing something It's like if you're drawing a person with a hand sticking out, it does not look like a hand. If you're drawing a person, let's make this definitely into a hand, with a hand sticking out, right? Here they are, and here's the torso, right? Okay, see what's wrong with this? Little kids on their drawings do this all the time. They have the front line of the torso, but they don't put any back line on it or any dimensionality. So if that's round, then that torso has to come from back there, see? You see what I'm saying? The torso line has to go behind. Now, what should we put in his hand? I know, I have the perfect thing. Because I got a bunch of flowers now. Actually, what I was going to do, except I tilted it off to the side too much. Get out of there, get out of there. What I was going to do is I was going to put a flag in his hand. Here we go. It's a flag, and I can draw it like that. It's connected. And then I can draw like that. And then I can connect these two. It's a flag for, guess what, the Mary Marvel Marching Society, which was the original Marvel fan club. I think it cost $1 or something to join it back in the day. That's a pretty big flagpole for a Marvel flag. But, what the heck, we'll put a ball on the top, and we'll put some grass here, and put some dirt underneath, because he just pulled this flagpole out. Now when I make this dirt, there's no particular way that I'm putting these black spots. It's just you feel your way through, and you make some high contrast here, and it's going to start looking like dirt. How do you do that? Well, and if I had space underneath, I would have some little pieces of dirt falling off, because he just lifted it up. And I could put some motion line on there. Some motion lines in here. Put a word balloon. Foolish humans. Arr. Okay. So this is just an example. I think, what do we learn from this, okay? Let's see, what do we learn from this? Probably nothing, right? No, you gotta learn something. I'll put some spikes underneath here. I think he has some, actually. I'm tired of holding the book up though. Okay, so anyways, what do we learn, Charlie Brown? What we're learning from this is, first of all, if you want this head to pop, I'm going to now go in and I'm going to outline it. I'm going to just take and very carefully separate it. By separating it like that, I make it pop. I don't reduce, the mind will fill in the space between this line and that line. Doesn't have to be there. Okay? Second thing, is things that are forward. Once again, I talked about this in The Man with the Gun. Things that are forward get a bolder outline. So he's already got a very bold outline up here. Okay. These things, they need a little shadow, don't they? Or something? Need something. Come on, put down ink, don't take it up. Some spit. Yeah, the thing what we're really learning here mostly is about directional lines, how you can build up a shape here with the directional lines, and how you can use your feathering and the direction of it to show which way things are going. Okay, and use your blacks just to create drama. There's no right or wrong here with the blacks, because he's a creature. We can put the blacks where we want them. So I could even black that in more, make it more dramatic. But yeah, the directional lines is a very important thing. See, this looks like it's been thought out, but it hasn't been thought. I mean, it actually doesn't on the dry erase board. But if you do this right, it'll look like the whole monster was thought out. And if someone who doesn't know what they're doing tries to copy that monster, they'll try and copy your directional lines and your, you know, scaling, I guess I call that. But if you are doing something like this, the thing is to not copy someone else's directional lines. So the thing is to understand why the directional line is there, what it's showing you, and be able to just put them in for yourself, okay? So that's what, and see, like this muscle is coming forward, we could emphasize that a little if we wanted to. This part here, this shoulder part, if we wanted to, we could, that's actually going back a little, so we could go that way with it. Okay, this, all these lines are showing us where things are and where things are going. Okay, so that's Fin Fang Foom. I said Fing again, didn't I? I'm going to have to do this again sometimes and try and get his whole body in the picture. But in the meantime, I'm just going to walk around. I'm not going to do it yet because I can't leave a terrifying monster like that on the board. Hey, what are you doing to me? Why are you erasing me? Actually, that's not how he sounds because he has a thick Chinese accent, I would just presume, from his country of origin, which is rural China. And he was sure heck on the PRC, the People's Republic Army, in that story. But you know, it's hard to say. What with Tibet and everything, it's hard to say they didn't deserve it. That's all for Fin Fang Foom. Thanks again, and I hope you watch some more videos sometime soon.